Hi, friends. Welcome to Lotus in the Light. My name's Jennifer. I'm here to do a little bit of channeling, maybe some oracle cards, and just general talking about some of my experiences on my spiritual journey. So I hope you find, if you found me, then perhaps Spirit led you here to find some divine inspiration. Um, and maybe we can do this journey together because that's the funnest way to do it. So, okay, let's take a deep breath together. Just welcoming divine spirit of love and light only into this message with us, opening our heart, allowing us to channel spirit and allowing spirit to come forth, spring forth from within us. That's what we're focused on doing here today, folks. Okay. I really feel called to talk about, and this is kind of, I was inspired from the last message that I just recorded about being inspired. And when you're inspired, you take inspired action. That's spirit saying go. So I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Um, so I feel inspired specifically to talk about how to find joy in some of the mundane, what we would consider mundane things in life, because that last message was all about being inspired. And typically, when we think of inspiration, we think of it in terms of things that we really enjoy doing, things that we really love doing, things that we want to create. So, whether you like to create gardens or artwork or music or think of all those kind of crafty things, right? I like to create spreadsheets. And I'm not kidding. Spreadsheets. So whatever it is that you like to create, um, it, that is that's exciting. When you feel inspired to do those things, that's fun, right? But then there's these other things you have to do, like clean your house, do your dishes, do your laundry, pull weeds, cut grass, things that you might not find exciting. Go to the grocery store, things that the narrative that we've been taught is that these things are no fun and they're not supposed to be fun and they're just things that you have to do, right? But I don't think that that is the right perspective. And I hate to say right because I'm gonna let me pull that back. Let me reel that back. Right or wrong is not a thing here, right? That perspective isn't the most helpful for us. If you have had that perspective and it has helped you, great. If you find that perspective to be less than helpful, then let's see if we can discover a new perspective. Okay. So I'm going to start first with an oracle card, just to see if we can get some like divine inspiration and direction. I tried, here it goes again. I tried a couple videos ago to say, I'm going to start shuffling and then cutting and then just drawing from the top of the deck because it felt like things weren't popping out in a timely manner, which is my normal way of going about it. But uh, so ever since I've tried that, now things just keep popping out. Like Spirit's like, no, that's not you, Jennifer. And it's not. I I don't like things to be like my preferred method is not like structure and doing the same thing, doing things the same way every time. And so I think Spirit is honoring that and saying, remember, this is not you. What you are is the one who waits for something to pop out. And here it is. So, very quickly, this popped out. Time for a deep dive. Swan Spirit. I think we've had Swan Spirit a couple times. Now, I just want to remind you, this deck is a 70 card deck. So the fact that Lotus in the Light is new, we have, I don't know, 15 or 20 videos. I don't even think we have 15, honestly, but call it 15 videos. And I'm pretty sure we've had this card 2 or 3 times. I think this is the second or third time we've had this card. Statistically, pretty impressive because I don't even use this deck every time. So, um, Swan Spirit, time for a deep dive. So I love this message because swan, I mean, look at how beautiful the swan is. The beautiful flowers, like the little adornment on its head. It's just, it's time. So here's what this is saying. It's time for a deep dive. And when you're willing to take that deep dive, you come out smelling like a rose. You come out like a lotus flower when you take the time to do that deep dive and do the work deep down in you, and you start to peel away the muck and the yuck, and then like a lotus flower that grows out of the muddy water, you bloom, you blossom, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bloom, we're gonna blossom, okay? And it's the card number is 60, which breaks down to a 6, which means that that's what's happening for you right now. So what I'm sensing is that you have worked through and moved through some old beliefs that you've realized, like, this isn't serving me. This doesn't feel like truth to me anymore. Like once it felt true and it was beneficial to me, and now it doesn't feel true anymore. And so I'm going to shed that and let that go. And that's that deep dive work that the swan, the swan goes deep for its sustenance, right? For its nourishment. And that's what you're doing is you're ready. It seems like not ready to, but already have, at least for whatever you're working through now, whatever this current cycle is, you've already done the deep dive. You're already ready. You're blossoming now. So that's a really joyous occasion. That's an awesome place to be. So let's talk about that in terms then of how to. You've done the deep dive, you're emerging as something new and different. How does that take shape in your life? How do you then manifest something new and different in your life? Well, I mean, that's a loaded question. There's a million ways, but I'm going to go back to those simple moments in life that we think of as uninspired, but really can and should be inspired moments. And what I mean by that is, think about how many times a day you do something extraordinary. I mean, if you're like me, it's not many, right? Most of my day is spent, going to work, doing the things around the house I've got to do, like doing things that are more like obligations or duties, right? But that don't feel inspired. But why should they feel inspired, or should they feel inspired? And I think the answer is yes, because we are here to experience life. It's actually funny because I did a video, one of my first videos, I commented that our whole purpose here is to experience joy. And for many of us, we don't, for whatever reason, we don't believe we deserve that. We don't believe that really is our purpose. And I really do. And when I posted that video, someone actually commented on that video and said, are we here to, I don't know how they framed it, if they did it as a question or a statement, but they were basically saying, are we here to experience joy or just to experience? And I believe they're correct. We are just here to experience, but I also, because I'm a both and, not an either or. I think we are here just to experience, but I think we're really ultimately here to experience joy, love, peace, all the fruits of the spirit that draw us closer to the divine, that draw us closer to Christ consciousness. We're here, but I believe that we are going to do that anyway, no matter whether we choose the path of love and joy or whether we choose the path of fear. We're either way, we're going to grow and learn. Our soul is learning from this experience, regardless of what choices we make. So yes, we're going to grow closer to God in this experience. So whatever choices you make, whatever experiences you have, that's really what you're here for. I'm of the belief system that I prefer to experience life through joy than through fear, through love than through fear, right? So I'm all about purpose for all of us. All of our purpose is just to be. But can we be in the most joyful and loving state as possible? That's my goal. And so then when we take that into our day-to-day lives, what perspective do we have about those things that we think we have to do? Well, first of all, I think part of doing the deep dive is figuring out that you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. or you don't feel inspired to do. Now you say, yeah, but Jen, if you do that, you're going to have like a sink overflowing of dishes and your children won't be fed and your blah, 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 right? We have duties. Sure. Okay. That's fair. But those are things that you chose. Uh, you chose to have a home. You chose to, right? We have to eat. I guess you could eat out and throw it all away if you wanted to. That's a choice. So yeah, but we can find joy in those moments. And I'm of the belief system now, and it's taken me 50 years to get here. My birthday is coming up in about a week, and I'll be 50. And it's taken me 50 years to come to the conclusion that if I'm not getting joy out of that, I'm just not going to do it. It's just not for me. And if it's something I have to do, then I am darn well going to figure out how to find joy in it. So prior to this year, I did no gardening ever. Now I love it to the point that I'm covered in poison ivy right here. Um, I never painted my nails, and it's ironic that I'm talking about this now because I literally just took my nail polish off like two hours ago. For decades, I didn't paint my nails, and I have nice, strong nails, except the two I just broke, so I had to cut them all back. But I generally have nice, strong nails, but I didn't paint them, and the reason why is like, and if you asked me, I would have said because I don't have time to maintain them. They get chipped and they get ugly and icky looking like the paint does, and I don't have the time to maintain that. I've got all these other things that I have to do, even though most of those other things weren't bringing me joy. But what does bring me joy is when my nails look pretty. But I also don't enjoy going and getting them done. I've tried it a couple times. I don't enjoy it. So, late like the last month I have been painting my nails and changing the color every week or so, and I have been having fun with it. Like I said, I just started gardening this year for the first time because I felt spirit calling me into nature in a way that I've never connected with nature before in my life like I have this year. And it has been just pure pleasure. And as I've started my journey into meditation and into calming my mind, what I've found is all those chores that I used to think were mundane, like doing the dishes or watering the flowers outside or weeding or doing laundry, I used to really just loathe all of those things. And now they become moments in my day when I get to kind of turn off and go into a little bit of a meditative state. And so I end up having a lot of light bulb moments um, when I'm doing those things, or I end up having a lot of feeling restful when I come out of those times. It's actually just been really a beautiful thing. Um, and so now there are some things that I just look forward to doing. I look forward to watering my flowers every day, and I actually don't like it when I feel like I don't have time to do it the way I want to do it. When I don't have time to pick at the pick the weeds out and things like that. So it's just totally reshaped my life and how I spend my time. I'm no longer running around like crazy. I just won't allow it. It is not for me. Now, I still love to have a good time and I still love to go out and do fun things. And so, yeah, I'm still doing all those things. I'm just choosing how I spend my time, and I'm not letting anything make me feel guilty. uh I'm I if it, I will not feel guilty if my heart isn't in something to say no to it. Now there are times when I'm, invited to do something or asked to do something that I'm like, I'm not really interested in that. So then I'll weigh it out, right? Like, not really my thing. I don't think that's how I want to spend my time, but I do want to be with this person, or I do want to help this person, or I do. And so then I'll weigh and I'm like, and I literally will ask myself, can I find joy in doing that for that person? If I can't, then I tell them no. And if I can, then I make sure that I find joy in it. And I'll give you a great example. Yeah, I guess it's not a fair example. I was going to use the example of my grandkids the other weekend. I watched two of my grandkids all day, like a 12-hour day, which for my son to do this mud volleyball tournament that he does once a year. So once a year, 12 for 12 hours. That's a long time for somebody who's an empty nester and doesn't have little kids anymore to take on little kids. 12 hours, insanity. So 12 hours during the day, not even during sleeping hours. But so I thought to myself, before there was just one, now they have a new baby. I'm like, can I do two for 12 hours? Can I do this and find joy in it? Of course, I can find joy with my grandkids for a couple of hours. Can I find joy for 12? And if I felt like the answer was no, then my answer to them would have been no. It's that simple. And I'm not going to be guilted about it. I think we all need to live that way. And when we can free ourselves to be that way, then we have grace for other people when other people who have boundaries in their lives tell us no. Because I guarantee we all have people in our lives that have boundaries like that are respecting their time and they're just respecting themselves and their desires and their needs and their time. And so they're not afraid to say no. And sometimes that will piss people off, like, well, you're not even going to help me or whatever. And so when you allow yourself to prioritize yourself, you will have grace then and respect for other people that do the same. So start evaluating the things you're doing. And yes, there are things in life we have to do. Figure out how to have fun in it. Have fun, make it figure out how to have joy in it. It's not always like a fun blast, right? But how to find joy in it, whether it's finding it as a Zen moment of peace and quiet while you're doing something that you have to do, or like what my work has turned into, where I just invite spirit to co-create with me and we have fun all day long, figuring out how to solve problems and fun, like, when I start to feel overwhelmed and I see that my calendar is all booked up with meetings and I have all these projects due, and I say, Spirit, I'm not going to stress. I'm just going to trust that you're going to make this all work out. And this is a true story. I had this happen. I had like 3 important projects due and like 2 days full of meetings, and everything was due in a couple of days. And systematically, one by one, I said, I am not going to stress. I'm not going to overwork. I'm not going to work 12 hours a day to get this stuff done. I'm going to prioritize as it needs to be prioritized, and I'm going to trust that you're going to work it out. And one by one, meetings started dropping off my calendar. One of the projects got completely pushed back by like 2 weeks. Like, it just all worked out. I never had to stress a moment. And that's the beauty of finding inspiration and finding divine inspiration and finding divine connection in everything that I'm doing, and doing everything out of a spirit of joy. Okay, I probably talked too long, so maybe I shouldn't do another card, but I feel like I want us to be inspired coming out of here. So I'm not going to read the whole card because I'm going to go back to my Sacred Rebels deck, I think. Yeah. Sacred Rebels deck. Let's get a card. I probably won't have time to read the whole thing here because I don't know how long I've been talking, but this will be our takeaway on finding joy and inspiration in those mundane activities in our day. If something will see, this is what I was talking about before. Put the bow on it, Spirit. Oh, here it is. The word wants to be written. The word wants to be written. Look at her. She's in her Zen space. Okay. She's transforming. You see the butterfly here. Transformation's happening. All these butterflies coming out of here. But you see, her third eye is activated. She is connected to the divine. The divine is inspiring her. The word wants to be written. 42 breaks down to a 6. So 2 sixes. 2 sixes. 6 again means you've done the work. You've wrestled with the conflict of like, what do I believe? You've figured it out. You've stripped away what no longer serves you, and now you've done the deep dive, as the deep dive of the swan, and now the word wants to be written. You might have been taught that creativity is something you have to work hard to access, or that finding your life purpose is so difficult that you must search high and low for it. Yet what you are is within you and wants to come out at every available opportunity. You don't have to struggle so much. It is more about allowing space for it to manifest and to let the energy flow. The real struggle is not in finding something. It is more about letting go of the idea that you need to search for your path in the first place. You see, the process of activating your life path is a natural one. The effort is in getting out of the way, not in making something happen. This is what I'm talking about. When we can stop trying to make life about these big moments and just live, just be, like I said at the beginning, just be, let life happen, but find the joy in it while you're doing it. Find the joy even in the small mundane. Um, it says the effort is in getting out of the way, not in making something happen. I'm trying to see here because this is very long. This oracle brings you the message that what you are dreaming of or seeking to do, create, live, or manifest is actually very natural for you. That's why you want to do it. That's the inspiration, right? Listen to the joy, listen to the inspiration, and follow it. I'm going to go right to the end. What you want to write, sing, dance, or become is you. It is natural. Drop your defenses. Get into the grit and confront the power that any old shaming has ever had over you. It's finished now. It's time for you to be naked with yourself. Acknowledge how gorgeous you are and get on with your work. Remember, you have bloomed. You've bloomed, baby. Now get on with your work. Life is urging you to do so because the work wants to happen. What you want to create wants to be creative. That's what I was talking about. Inspired action. What you want to create wants to be created. The word wants to be written. You just need to let go of any remnants of the past that have been in your way. Step firmly over them and onto your path. Thanks, everyone. Peace out. Peace out.